The Magnificent 12 by Michael Grant. 2. A really, really long time ago. Grimlock was 12 years old. Like most 12-year-olds, he had a job, a child, 2 wives, and a cow. No, wait, that's not true. He had 1 wife and 2 cows. Grimlock's wife was called Gelidberry. Their baby son's name was as yet undetermined. Picking names was a very big deal in Grimlock's village. There wasn't a lot of entertainment, so when the villagers had something other than eking out a miserable existence to occupy their minds, they didn't rush it. The cows didn't have names either, at least not that they shared with Grimlock. The 5 of them, Grimlock, Gelidberry, Baby, Cow, and Cow, lived in a small but comfortable home in a village in a clearing surrounded by a forest of very tall trees. In the clearing, the villagers planted chickpeas. Chickpeas are the main ingredient in hummus, but the discovery of hummus would take another 1,000 years. For now the chickpea farmers planted, watered, and harvested chickpeas. The village diet was 90% chickpeas, 8% milk, supplied by cow, and 2% rat. Although, truth be told, not a single one of the villagers could have calculated those percentages. Math was not a strong suit of the villagers who, as well as not being math prodigies, were illiterate as well. Grimlock was one of the few men in the village not involved in the chickpea business. Because he was quick and tireless, he had been chosen as the Baron's horse leader. This was a very big honor, and the job paid well. 1 large basket of chickpeas per week, a plump rat, and 1 pair of sandals per year. Grimlock wasn't rich, but he earned a living. He was doing all right. He couldn't complain. Until one day Grimlock was leading his master's horse when he spotted a hurried, harried-looking knave, who, judging by the fact that his clothing was colored by light brown mud rather than good, honest, dark brown mud, was not from around these parts. "Master," Grimlock said, "a stranger." The Baron, a man with more beard than hair, twisted around as best he could in order to see the stranger in question. It was an awkward thing to do, since the Baron was facing the horse's tail as he rode, but he managed it without quite falling off. "I don't know the knave. Ask him his name and business." Grimlock waited until the stranger was in range, loping and wheezing along the narrow forest trail. Then he said, "Knave, my master would know your name and business." "My name is Sporta, and my business is fleeing. I'm a full-time fleer. If you have any sense, you'll join me in that line of work." He glanced meaningfully back over his shoulder. "Ask the knave why he is fleeing, and why we should flee," the Baron demanded. The stranger had been brought up well enough to pretend he hadn't heard the Baron's question, and waited patiently for Grimlock to repeat the question. Then the stranger said the words that would haunt Grimlock for the rest of his very, very long life. "I flee the Pale Queen." The Baron jerked in astonishment and slid off the horse. He said. "The," Grimlock repeated. "The Pale," the Baron said. "The Pale," Grimlock repeated. No, it cannot." "No," Grimlock said, doing his best to replicate the Baron's white-faced horror. "No, it cannot." The Baron could say no more, so Grimlock said no more. Only Sporta had anything else to say, and what he said then also changed Grimlock's life. "You know, if your master sat facing the other way on that horse, facing the horse's head instead of his tail, he wouldn't need you to guide him." In less time than it took a rooster to summon the morning sun, Grimlock had lost his job as horse leader, and been forced to switch to a far less lucrative career. Fleer.